theta, and then later when you're in deep sleep, you're in delta. So guess what? Every day when you're going to bed or when you're waking up, you go through a zone of theta. Naturally, from sleep vibration delta the lowest to waking up, you have to go through theta. Theta is imagination. So guess what? If you put earphones on and play a program as you're going to bed, just as your conscious mind lets go and it's not paying attention to the program at this point, you're really going off into sleep. Theta is engaged. And what's theta doing? Taking the program and downloading it into the subconscious mind, because that's what theta does. Hypnosis, bypassing the conscious mind, which just went to sleep. So every night, putting on earphones and playing a program of behavior that you want to create in your life, repetition of that every night will then manifest that experience. So the first 7 years, hypnosis, theta, auto-hypnosis with earphones, I said, and going to bed, that's the way you program it. And number 2, what about programming after age 7? I go, oh, well, then the conscious mind's working. So how do I put a new program in? I say, you practice. You repeated something over and over and over again, making a habit out of it. I say, you want to learn ABC? How many times did you start with ABC and then get to a certain point and then stop because you didn't know what was next? And then you thought about what was next. A, B, C, D, what was it? Oh, E. A, B, C, D, E. Oh, next one is, oh, F. And you keep adding, and what are you doing? Repeating, adding, repeating. Trying to get A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, get to the end. Guess what? You got to the end, you don't have to do it anymore. Why? You repeated it, made a habit out of it, now it's enclosed in the habit mind, you can just follow it up, it's already a habit. So, repetition. Let's say, oh, you find that your behaviors are not supporting you, then guess something in the subconscious mind should, of course, follow along with it as well, because they're both habits. Two separate minds, but they learn in different ways. Here's the critical point. Conscious mind being creative can learn in a creative fashion. Conscious mind can read a self-help book. And after one reading go, oh yeah, I've been educated, I know how this, I could do it this way, my life would be really good if I understood this. And then you say, well, I just read the book and I understand how it all works, and yet my life is still exactly the same. You can go to the lecture, you can read the book, you can watch the video, you can even just go, aha, and the conscious mind being creative can learn just from simply that. Read the book and learn. And then with that subconscious, you go, here's the problem. It's a habit mind. I said, well, how do you create a habit? I go, reading the book once, it's not a habit. So what's the point? The self-help book you read was picked up information-wise, educated, and enhanced your conscious awareness, and yet didn't touch any of your subconscious programs. You have the same behavior you had before you read the book after you read the book. Well, conscious mind learns by reading the book, subconscious habit, you don't learn from that one reading of the book. So the conscious mind, subconscious mind learn in different ways. How can I teach the subconscious mind? Number 1, so many of us talk to ourselves. You know, I love donuts. Barker, my partner, calls them circles of death, but I love those guys, and of course my health wasn't that great at this time, and so my programming is don't eat donuts, and I keep talking to myself, don't eat the donut, and then sure enough, 5 minutes later, there's a donut in my hand, and it's about halfway finished, where my mind catches on, oh my God, you're eating the donut, oh man, I'm so upset, you might as well finish it now, and then I eat the donut, okay, and I go, wow, I kept talking to myself not to eat the donut. Why should I eat the donut? Here's the fun answer. Conscious mind, yes, you're in it. Remember I said that's a seat of your identity, your spirit, your consciousness. That's where you are. Oh, then who's in the subconscious mind? I go, nobody. There's nobody in there. It's a machine like a CD recorder. Why is that relevant? Well, let's say I record a program on a CD, put it in the machine, push play, and replace the program. I say, there's nobody in there. It's a machine like a CD recorder. Like a CD recorder. Why is it relevant? Well, let's say I record a program on a CD, put it in the machine, push play, and replace the program. I say, I don't like that program. So I say, okay, CD player, change the program, make something more fun, and something I would like better than this program. Then, of course, the program continues to play just as it was, and then you get a little more upset. Come on, please change that program. I asked you to change the program. Still eating a donut. I get very frustrated, very upset with myself, and then I really almost give up, because how many times do I have to tell myself I eat donut, still end up eating donut, and realize it's not making any difference at all. The point about it is this: when your conscious mind is telling your subconscious not to eat the donut, who were you expecting to hear that message? And then you realize there's nobody in the subconscious machine. So I say, yeah, go talk to the CD player. It's playing a track on an album. I say, okay, Tell it to play something different. Just talk to it. And the answer is, it's not going to change. It'll never change. I go, yeah, there's your problem. Trying to talk yourself into change is not going to work because the subconscious mind has nobody to listen to your story. So I said, well, how does it change? I said, well, how does it learn? And here's three things to rewrite your subconscious. Number one, how does it learn in the first 7 years, the programmable period? I say, oh, the brain was in a low vibrational frequency called theta, which is hypnosis. So if I use hypnosis, I can download a program. I can say, yes, you can. That's how you can do it. I go, do I have to have somebody else do the hypnosis on me? I go, here's the fun part. The vibration of theta is a low vibration. It's below consciousness, which is alpha. And a higher vibration than alpha is beta, which is like schoolroom studying, work mind, work consciousness. Alright, so there's higher vibration in theta. The next one down is more calm, is alpha. When you go down below alpha, theta, which is the hypnosis or imagination phase as well, because children in that theta period, first 7 years, mix the real world and the imaginary world seamlessly, and that's because theta is imagination and reality mixed. And then below theta is one lower vibration called delta, which is absolute sleep. I say, what's significant? I say, well, every day when you wake up, you're coming from delta, the lowest vibration, just as you're waking up in the morning, just as you're coming out of sleep, the immediate, groggy period at the beginning, that's theta. That's where imagination and hypnosis and reality start to mix together. That's why you have clock radio. And the radio comes on as you're coming out of your sleep. The story in the radio can be mixed with the dream. And as you're waking up, the imagination took the radio thing and made part of your dream out of it. Theta. But once you're awake, you're in calm consciousness called alpha, and once you go to work, you're in a higher vibration called theta. And I say, and then what happens when you come home? Oh, well, you came home, you were in theta, but once you start to relax and calm down, you went into alpha. And just as you're going to bed, alpha transitions into theta. And then later, when you're in deep sleep, you're in delta. So guess what? Every day, when you're going to bed, or when you're waking up, you go through a zone of theta. Naturally, from sleep vibration delta to lowest to waking up, you have to go through theta. Theta is imagination. So guess what? If you put earphones on and play a program as you're going to bed, just as your conscious mind lets go and is not paying attention to the program at this point, you're really going off into sleep. Theta is engaged. So what's theta doing? Taking the program and downloading it into the subconscious mind, because that's what theta does. Hypnosis, bypassing the conscious mind, which just went to sleep. So every night, putting air in the earphones and playing a program of behaviors that you want to create in your life, repetition of that every night will then manifest that experience. So the first 7 years, hypnosis, theta, auto-hypnosis with earphones, I said, and going to bed, that's the way you can program it. And number 2, what about programming after age 7? I go, oh, well then the conscious mind's working. So how do I put a new program in? I said, you practice. You repeated something over and over and over again, making a habit out of it. I say, you want to learn ABC. How many times did you start with ABC and then get to a certain point and then stop because you didn't know what was next? And then you thought about what was next. A, B, C, D, E. E. A, B, C, D, E. Oh, next one is, F. And you keep adding, and what are you doing? Repeating. Adding and repeating. Finally get A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, you get to the end. Guess what? You got to the end, you don't have to do it anymore. Why? You repeated it, made a habit out of it. Now it's enclosed in the habit mind, you can just call it up. It's already a habit. So repetition. So I say, oh, you find that your behaviors are not supporting you, then guess what? Generate a behavior that represents supporting you and repeat it just like a player on a sporting team. Go out and do the practice. Just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Even if it's not real at the time, it will become real as it becomes downloaded as a program. Your subconscious will take that program and then use it to manifest life from it. So you start out, you might be sick with cancer, and your program is, I am healthy, I control my health. A couple of those programs like that, very positive thinking like that. And I say, what happened? Well, it's very hard for your conscious mind to say, I am healthy, knowing you having a cancer right now. I say, no, that's not the issue. You're repeating it over and over again for what? The subconscious. The repetition, habituation occurs. The subconscious now gets a program. What's the program? I am healthy. The function of the mind is to create coherence between your programs and your reality. So if I put in a program that I am healthy, and at that moment I have sick with cancer, what do you think the function of my... The subconscious reality of the program. What's the program? I am healthy. The function of the mind is to create coherence between your programs and your reality. So if I put in a program that I am healthy, and at that moment I have sick with cancer, what do you think the function of my mind is? Is to create an environmental situation where health can be restored. Why? Because my program says I'm healthy, my biology says I'm not. The function of the mind is to adjust the biology so it manifests the expression of the program. I can heal myself, but now with my conscious mind, that's good positive thinking. I go, yeah, positive thinking, I can heal myself. Are you using that positive? Oh, it's not going to have much of an effect. You want to have an effect? Make a program to operate 95% of the day. So the two fundamental ways right now of learning are the two fundamental ways that we acquired this coherence between your programs and your reality. So